franchise.
I think you're right about that. I think that they should have franchised Ryan Tannehill. I think they paid him way too early. He didn't even play a full season for them before they gave him the money. I think they should have taken that money, paid Derrick Henry. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let Me Finish on this beautiful day that you have found yourself in. Today, we're going to talk about Derrick Henry and the Titans. Now, Alex, how do you feel about Derrick Henry getting franchise tagged?
So if I'm Derrick Henry and I just went on this little magical run of mine, and I look at the contract that Zeke got, and I look at the contract that Todd Gurley got, and they both got paid 2 years early, I'm irritated with being franchised. However, if I'm the Tennessee Titans, I look at the contract that Todd Gurley got, and I look at and then I look at this one injury to Todd Gurley, and now what they just did, trying to get rid of him, cutting him, and all of that. And just as a case in point, running backs, 99.9% of them are not worth a second contract. I think franchising him was the right move, kind of, but the wrong move because I think they should have franchised Tannehill. I don't mind them running it back one more year, but I would have franchised Tannehill and I'd have found another running back.
Okay, here's the thing. With Todd Gurley, I totally understand. With Ezekiel Elliott, I'm halfway there on understanding about the contract. Here's the thing. You said that most 99.9% of running backs aren't worth a second contract. I take that as 99.9% of running backs aren't good enough or game-changing enough to deserve that second contract. So somebody who would deserve that second contract is a pantheon player like Barry Sanders or Jim Brown or somebody like that, Eric Dickerson. I think personally those people are worth the contract that you saw Todd Gurley get, obviously adjusting for inflation. Now, here's my thing with Derrick Henry. He hasn't always had the best numbers, but I think he is one of the most dominating running backs that we have ever seen in this league. He is built like a tank, and he literally drags teams behind him for hundreds of yards a game. His yards after hit are crazy. After contact, are crazy. I think his talent, his build, and the way that he just blows through people, I think that is in somebody that we have almost never seen in another running back personally. He's like 6'4". But on top of that, when you gave him the carries that he needed as a workhorse, as this running back that I think he is, he absolutely dominated the league. He finished first in rushing yards last season. When he went into the playoffs, he dominated the best defense, who people said is the best defense in the league. He dragged the Titans through the Patriots and got them a win because Tannehill only had to throw like 100 yards that game. He went into Baltimore,
Right.
and he absolutely sat Lamar Jackson down. He put him in an ice bath and cooled Lamar Jackson off. And then in the AFC Championship
game,
Chiefs,
yeah. Where was he putting up Mahomes? Where was he putting up points to beat Mahomes?
He had a good first quarter, and then they totally just made him disappear. I have no idea why they stopped giving them the ball.
Right, because I can tell you why.
I don't know why.
Because they came to the realization that if you keep running the ball, you're not going to score enough points to keep up with that dude on the other side of the field.
What was the score after the first quarter? I forget.
17. Were they 10-7?
17-7. It was 17-7, and then they stopped running the ball. The Tennessee Titans, the team that when you get out in front of a team, you just run it down their throat with Derrick Henry. They stopped running the ball. Now, I don't know when that became a good idea, but Derrick Henry was running all over them in the first quarter, And unfortunately, they stopped giving him the touches that he needed. He only ended up with like 70 something yards, and he fulfilled Frank Clark's threat, which pissed me off because I think that Derrick Henry is worth the money. And if I'm Derrick Henry, I am pissed off that you didn't pay me before you paid Ryan Tannehill, who came in mid-year. He had a good year, but he's the new dude in town. I'm Derrick Henry. I drug us through the playoffs
Okay,
last year.
okay. Except that's the
So,
thing. Derrick Henry didn't drag them through the playoffs last year. The game against the Patriots was far, far, far more about the inability of the Patriots offense to move the ball and score. Derrick Henry, for all of his effectiveness, led that Titans team to 14 offensive points, 2 touchdowns, one of
hey,
which was a 20-yard pass by Ryan Tannehill, 14 points.
hey,
And then the defense had to
run it
score.
like that, when you control that game like that with that big old horse,
Except that's
that
kind
big
of the
old
issue.
thing.
They didn't really control the game like that. Like, there were still 12 possessions for each team. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Just keep going.
There were still 12 possessions for each team. Like, that game was way, way more about the inability, the ineffectiveness, the anemic offense of my beloved New
I mean,
England
if you want to
Patriots.
frame it like that,
And
but
the
whatever.
and the next and the Baltimore game, like, he was really effective again, but that game was about Lamar being horrendous throughout and getting a ton of short fields off of turnovers, and Ryan Tannehill tossing a bomb, and then knowing that Baltimore cannot throw themselves back into games. Derrick Henry played really well. What changed the
Yeah.
Titans season was Ryan Tannehill, not Derrick Henry. And so,
Well,
organizationally, I understand prioritizing the QB position over the running back. I wouldn't have paid either long-term deals. I would have franchised Tannehill, and I would have, if you don't affect the passing game, which Derrick Henry doesn't, then you're assuredly not worth a second contract almost automatically. If you're a running back, your shelf life is just so short, you're probably not worth it anyway. But I think Derrick Henry is and would be, and looks around the league and is probably irritated. But, like, no, I don't think it's a bad decision to.
look, it doesn't matter who Derrick Henry is playing. He doesn't ask who he could get to play, who he should get to play. He just goes out there and he's a freaking monster. And that's
No, he's
all you can
awesome,
ask out of
but that
him.
does but
And
that's
he
not a
deserves to get paid. So,
deserves has nothing to do with it.
moving on to Tannehill, what do you think about the move that they made with how much they paid Tannehill?
So they're going to pay him $29.5 million a year. Like, they're paying them almost $30 million a year. They are stuck to him for sure the next 2 years, because his dead money on the cap, if they were to cut him or trade him, is like 60 this year. It's like 30 next year, and in the third year it's 10. So, like, I think that's about what the dead money hit for the Rams is this year with Gurley. So you can do it, but you don't really want to. Like, they're probably stuck with Tannehill for the next 3 years, and this is just not who he's been for, the better part of his entire career. For his
Yeah.
career, he's 62% from the field, or from the field, basketball, sorry, completion percentage. He's 7 yards per attempt. He's got an 87 quarterback rating, and he was 42 and 46 as a starter. In the 10 games this year, 70% completion percentage. And
So,
Tannehill, for his career, the other 6 years of his career, has an 87 quarterback rating. This year, he had 117. That's a 30-point difference. That is a giant jump. Maybe the Tennessee offense unlocked something with Tannehill, or maybe he just had the best 10-game stretch of his career. I would have franchised him, made him prove it to me again for a year, and then seen, because there's a real chance that this is going to end up looking a lot like a more expensive Nick Foles. and you're going to have to do like the Jaguars and either suffer through the next 3 years if Tannehill isn't anywhere close to this production, or you're going to have to trade him and eat a lot of that guaranteed money for a year, potentially
If
two, if
he
you trade
doesn't
him and
live
he's
up.
not.
If he
If he
doesn't
doesn't,
live up.
yeah,
I think
the rest of his career says he won't live up to this.
you're right about that. I think that they should have franchised Ryan Tannehill. I think they paid him way too early. He didn't even play a full season for them before they gave him the money. I think they should have taken that money, paid Derrick Henry. So that's my take on that.
Pay a running back $30 million a year?
Not 30. Okay, so do you think that right now, do you think the Titans could make the playoffs again?
With the expanded format, and I think Vrabel's a good coach. I think it's a stable organization, and they always seem to be 7-9 or 9-7. I'm gonna say I think this is actually like the 4th straight year they've been 9-7. I'm gonna say yes. In the AFC, which I don't think is as deep as the NFC, yes, they can make the playoffs.
I think they're going to make the playoffs again, and I think
Also,
that
that
they have
division
a
is just.
storied run again. So it's good.
I think they could win that division because I was just sitting here playing out the division in my head. Like Houston has the best quarterback, but an incompetent coach and GM. Phillip Rivers, I think, is done, so I don't think the Colts are going to be terribly good, even though I like their coach and their GM. And the Jags, obviously, they're going to be the Jags, unless you think Gardner Minshew is the next.
The Jags are just going to be sleeping in England next year.
But so yeah, they could win that division. They assuredly could make the playoffs.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was this episode of Let Me Finish, talking about the Titans, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, and all that business. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the like button. If you want to talk about it, leave a comment down below. We love the conversation. If you want to see some more videos with our two faces, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.